Hello, welcome to Cooking with the Collection. I'm Seema Rao, Deputy Director and Chief Experience Officer at the Akron Art Museum. So I have this cookbook which has fascinated me. It's the MoMA, Museum of Modern Art's Artist Cookbook from 1977. Conversations with 30 contemporary painters and sculptors. And they're names that are very familiar to me. Alex Katz, Andy Warhol, Richard Anskevitz, you can see right here in Marisol on the cover, and then there's more pictures on the back. There's lots of really wonderful recipes in here, and then others that are less. So the other day we've been cooking from this book and reading lots of artist recipes around here. As all of you, I'm working from home and I'm trying to feed my kids and keep everybody happy and have fun, and we have been eating very healthy. I had read quite a lot about the pandemic, and I got quite nervous, and I wanted to make sure that our family had all the nutrients, just in case, eating all those things would make you more less susceptible to and more protected from the virus. And so we've been eating oatmeal and chia seeds and flax and all kinds of things that I felt like might keep them safe. And but my family has really felt like we need some comfort food. And so the other day I was reading two recipes in here that I thought were quite interesting. One of them was Alex Katz. Alex Katz is a painter who makes scenes that have a sort of quietness to them. So the Akron Art Museum has a wonderful Alex Katz of a female figure. It's a painted figure, but it's actually cut out. And so when you go into storage, the figure looks like it's looking at you. And the pictures have no shading, so they don't have the realism of, say like a Renaissance painting, but they have a different sort of realism in that they feel like they have an evocative nature. You almost get a sense of the quietude of the moment, and his figures, I think, have a certain kind of quietude. There's many images that he's done of his wife, Ada, that are, he must probably look at his wife quite often, and so these pictures have this sort of sense of somebody who really understands how that person's face looks, how that person's demeanor is, but at the same time, it has sort of no realism. And so Alex Katz in this book talks about Ada and what a wonderful cook she is, and how she makes a wonderful chicken, and you can, look at this book and find that. But he also talks about all the sandwiches, and Alex Katz said that his mother was sort of an idiosyncratic cook, and he didn't know how weird their cooking was until he went somewhere else. And I always say that to my kids. You're not going to know how strange your family is until you get to college and you tell people what you've done, and someday maybe they'll get to college and say, yeah, we had to cook for we were stuck at home, and we were cooking all these recipes of artists who are not really even here anymore. And so one of his things is he tells you this whole list of sandwiches that he makes, and some of them sound quite good, like fresh chanterelle mushrooms and eggs on matzah. I only have eggs for that recipe, so I couldn't make that one. But the first one, and the one that he describes as being his favorite and something that he found so amazing as a child, is American cheese on white bread. And he talks about how it made him feel like all the other people. And so I think this is so funny. And he has a couple others: peanut butter molasses on butter, sour cream on carrot bread, honey and fresh tomatoes on whole wheat. It's a wonderful list of sandwiches. And so we made Alex Katz's sandwich, and then we paired it with the recipe that Andy Warhol submitted. And Andy Warhol is a contemporary. All these artists are living at the same time in this book, of Alex Katz. And in some ways, his works also have the same sort of flatness of Alex Katz's works. He used silk screening, and he silk screened on canvas. And he had come from he had a commercial background. Andy Warhol worked as a commercial artist, and that's where silk screening really was used most in mid 20th century America. And so he takes that media, and he takes it and makes it a fine art. And so he becomes insanely famous for these silk screens, and silk screening is great because it's a printmaking process, and so you can use it over and over and over and over. Andy Warhol was raised in a Polish-American family in Pittsburgh, which had a lot of Polish-Americans. I live in Northeast Ohio, where we have also like a lot of Polish-Americans, and I suspect he ate a lot of traditional Polish-American food as a child, like pierogies and borscht. But the recipe he chose to share is one that would probably not surprise anyone. He said, take Campbell's milk of tomatoes soup, 10 3/4 can of Campbell's soup, 2 cans of milk in a saucepan, and bring it to boil. Serve. So we paired our Alex Katz with our Andy Warhol, and in many ways they are kind of two sides of one coin. They're both are doing a lot of images of people. They're both very flat. One of them is doing painting, painstaking, polished painting. You can't see brushstrokes on Alex Katz. The other is doing a commercial process that shows the same image, often replicates the same image on the screen. So you might have Maryland times 50. Or it just shows one image, quite large, but completely in a commercial, using a commercial media, like the Akron Art Museum's image of Elvis shooting a gun as a sort of a cowboy. So we have two artists who do a human figure, 2 artists in our collection that show the full frame of the figure, but really very much two sides, 2 very, very different kinds of artists. But we brought them together for dinner with cheese sandwiches and tomato soup. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day.